Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about tabletop games. I'm going to talk about legendary Dungeons & Dragons creator, artist, Larry Elmore, who is synonymous with probably the greatest box art and cover art of all time for many early TSR projects. Apparently being kicked to the curb for, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Some art that supposedly pops, but it looks, compared to Larry Elmore, it looks very amateurish or possibly AI. I don't know. But I don't know if it's the cost of Larry Elmore that is causing WotC to not use him, or the fact that he is an older man of a certain skin tone, you know, certain gender, or was it because of the backlash over the basic set, the red box set? Remember last year when they released the figurine, the warrior, quote unquote, the warrior figure that was based on the classic red box, Dungeons & Dragons red box basic set, that WotC tried to say that this was meant to be a brown-skinned female, and Larry Elmore is like, no, I was there. I drew that, I remember, and no, it's at the time it definitely was a male. It's definitely a white male, and they've actually done action figures of that character before. So the big reveal was for naught. So whatever the reason is, they're not using this legendary talent, and we're going to talk about this. And I do have to give a hat tip to Fandom Pulse. I did see this floating around the other day. Kevin Lamb is a DnD and Dragonlance expert. They're at GaryCon. We're going to talk about GaryCon. It seems like anyone who's going to talk about the Gygax legacy, you know, is not going to be associated in any official capacity with Wizards of the Coast. D&D is just corporate product to them now, but we're going to dig into this a little bit more, and there's definitely something going on here. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, no woohoos in this video. We're gonna look at this tweet, and then we're gonna go out to Fandom Pulse's article. Kevin Lamb, yeah, Christian dad, lover of films, fantasy novels, art, and classic TTRPGs, says, at the GaryCon artist booth, I learned that Larry Elmore was willing to do the covers for the new Dragonlance trilogy, but was told that they wanted a digital artist because digital art has more pop. So instead of a cover like the one on the left, we got one on the right. And again, this is the first Dragonlance book, Dragons of Autumn Twilight. Very classic cover. You've probably seen this on posters. It's been reprinted all over the place, right? It's Larry Elmore's, one of his most famous works, one of them. And this is what they went with instead. And I zoomed in. To this, and this is digital art. I'm having a really hard time with this, guys. I gotta tell you. Even Tannis looks like a chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that what they're going for? Because we talked about this the other day. Geeky and I did a video talking about chick lit and how it's taking over fantasy. Is that what they're doing here? Are they trying to appeal to that crowd? And also, if it's digital art, it doesn't look very digital to me. It looks like a pencil sketch maybe, and then I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But you can't tell me that this pops and let's open this up in a new tab here. This doesn't. I mean, this is classic art. This is just so good. All of Larry Elmore's art is so good. Jeff Easley's art is so good, and it's synonymous with Dungeons and Dragons. But again, it just shows that they're trying to get away from their legacy, right? All right, so yeah, it's coming from Fandom Pulse, and they're talking about Larry Elmore. He has a long history with Dungeons and Dragons. He created many of the iconic illustrations that people understand as the D&D aesthetic. Yes. He is very closely associated with Dragonlance. Again, he did the covers for the Beckme sets. The basic set, the red box set, is probably his most well-known work ever. The publishers are no longer interested in his art or definitive style, according to one of his fans who spoke with the artist at GaryCon over the weekend. Dragonlance Destinies is a new Dragonlance trilogy that came out in 2023 and 2024, bringing back Wise and Hickman. So, yeah, these are... I don't know. It looks like they're trying to go down the romantasy angle here. Hopefully they're not like doing the dragons or something. Elmore was apparently not even considered for the art on the new trilogy, which from its covers appears to feature a strong minority female lead like every other mainstream fantasy work. Kevin Lamb, DnD and Dragonlance expert, posted to X what he heard at Elmore's booth at GaryCon. At the GaryCon artist booth, I learned that Larry Elmore was willing to do the covers for the new trilogy, but was told that they wanted a digital artist because digital art has more pop. It doesn't have more pop. This appeals to women more so than men. But again, Dragonlance, it's a team that writes those books, and one of them is a woman. And now they've had a very seems like a kind of an acrimonious relationship with WotC in recent years. There was a lawsuit or multiple lawsuits. Apparently they got that worked out. There was an attempt, I believe, to buy Dragonlance off of Wizards of the Coast, and that didn't go anywhere. Now apparently things are okay-ish, I guess. I don't know if there's a settlement or what's going on, but they are publishing the new books, but they do look like they're going for a different demographic. I still can't get over Tanis's face. Like, this is Tanis Elmore style. What the hell? What the hell is he doing? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. If you have the opportunity, especially at this stage of the game, right? No pun intended. But if you have the opportunity to use a talent like Larry Elmore while we still have him, and he's still as good as he's always been, he might even be better because he's got decades of experience behind him, right? And artists do, a lot of artists, provided that they don't lose their physical abilities or their eyesight or whatever, they actually do get better with time. Except for Frank Miller. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say what the hell happened to Frank Miller? No, yeah, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, they said the two covers he depicts are of an old Elmore drawing in a book in the new series. Sad to see the classic line go for modern art. Is that even modern art? Most of what I've seen with fantasy now is just like a logo and like an eyeball or a dagger or something. And here it turns out it's, porn, apparently. Margaret Wise seemed to confirm the story as well, stating it wasn't her decision who gets on the cover. Who gets the cover art. She said decision was Random House. WotC had approval. They wanted the dragon to look like the new version of dragons. So Random House, which is probably, again, one of the major publishers trying to appeal to a female demographic, goes with softer art and female characters front and center. That sucks. It really sucks. So here's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is it AI? I mean, I'm kind of wondering, like, I'm looking at Tanis's face here. Where's this other one at? There we go. I don't know what the hell is up with this. I don't know what's up with this. I mean, this is a proud half elven. Why is he not problematic? He's a half elf. Why is Tanis not problematic now? Because we're not allowed to have half elven characters. Is he just like elven presenting? He's got pointy ears and everyone just assumes his racial identity because he's elven presenting. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, but they've been caught using AI art multiple occasions. They've said that they're going to continue to use AI art, and looking at some of the new source books, I'm like, yeah, some of it looks very fakey, very samey. Now, I don't know if that's Random House, if they hired this artist or what the deal is. Oh, God. I don't know. But AI is definitely going to be used more and more as things progress, I guess, or regress, because it's faster, cheaper, not always better, but in some cases it is better. I mean, I'm going to be honest. There are some cases where I've looked at the AI art and I've looked at hand-drawn art. I'm kind of like, oh, I hate to break it to you, but the machine's a little bit better. I mean, it needs a little TLC to clean it up, but it's in some cases better. It understands the characters better. It understands the assignment better. Right. Yeah. So let's talk about real quick here. We're going to talk about Gary Con, which I did not go to. I should have. I know that I talked to GPA Graph Paper Architect. Check out his YouTube channel, by the way. We're working on games together now, behind the scenes, and hopefully we'll have something to show you guys here pretty soon. We got a lot of things going on, but we talked about going, and it's like not this year, but maybe next year. And unfortunately, Ernie passed right before the convention, and I had a chance to Ernie Gygax, who was one of Gary's sons, and he was very heavily involved in early D&D. He was very, very heavily involved in the animated series, and he passed. I think it's been about a month, a couple of weeks. Good guy. Met him. I got to talk to him in depth for a couple hours one time, and his insight was incredible. And learning about early TSR and his dad and how all this stuff came together was incredible. We also have an interview with Robert J. Kuntz, who was very, very good friends with Ernie, and we have that on the channel as well, the D-Res podcast. You can check it out. And we're losing so many of these people. These people that gave us these legendary franchises, who provided us with countless hours of entertainment and fellowship with our friends, and to not use Larry Elmore, when he's available, it blows my mind. It really does. And it's probably some like 25-year-old editor at Random House that's, making that decision. Like, this doesn't look girly enough. We have to make it girlier. And again, Dragonlance, co-written since day one by a woman. And the art was always awesome. It was always really, really cool. Actually, I remember, I think it was Larry Elmore. I think he had a story about, I think it was Raceland's creatures that he was making. And he said that the original drawing was so disturbing, he had to paint over it. I remember that from years ago. And it really stuck out in my mind, because I'm like, wow, I've seen some pretty grotesque and pretty wild D&D art, but to have it be like so disturbing that you have to paint over your own painting or your underdrawing or whatever. I was like, I want to see the original. I don't know if it's out there, but I want to see the original. But yeah, RIP Ernie Gygax. This has come from ICV2, and I think Vinny sent this over, I think. But it's not a big con. But these people respect where D&D came from. And, I can't say the same thing about like Gen Con, or at least not Gen Con in general, but the people that run the show now, a lot of the people that attend the show, Gygax is a dirty word, right? Meanwhile, there are a couple of Kickstarters out there, a couple of crowdfunders out there republishing Gary's work, and they're doing like millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. People want Gary Gygax D&D. And it's just really sad. It's almost like, what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of using the old guard? And I've heard this story on multiple occasions. I think it was Ed Greenwood. There was some controversy that he wasn't really, I don't know if he wasn't in the credits of the D&D movie, because the D&D movie took place in the Forgotten Realms. And I don't know if he was properly credited with that or what went down, but Wizards of the Coast does not think anything of the people that created these games and these worlds. The guy who did Spelljammer, the creator of Spelljammer, he wasn't even told. He wasn't told that they were going to do another book. They just do it because they're like, we're a corporation. We own the rights to it. We can do it. We don't need your permission. And it's like, well, that's true, but yeah, God, R.I.P. Ernie. Yeah, he was a character. I loved Ernie. He was awesome. And I feel really bad I didn't get to talk to him more. I really do. February 28th. So let's see here. We've got, again, a lot of old head looking games. I'm okay with this. I love this. This is what it's about. I mean, God, 12-year-old me would have been all over this. And this is what I expect, right? This is what I expect from a tabletop convention. This is what tabletop looked like when I was playing it. And everything now is a lot more purple. Everything now is a lot more pink. Everything is a lot more cozy, right? And this is, we have Mike Merles come out the other day and say that, why is everything so safe? Why is everything so safe now? And I think it all dovetails with women in fantasy, or at least the modern writers, the modern audience, and that everything has to be kind of soft and feminine and safe. And kids don't want that. They want metal. They want, look at this. They want the D&D that they saw in Stranger Things, and that game doesn't exist. If you want that same vibe, you're going to have to pick up games like this. Pick up games by like Troll Lord games or Goodman games. See, this is D&D. Not the dragon who romanced me, but like freaking dragon's going to burn your freaking face off. Yeah, see, I love this. Token Terrors, Battlegrounds. This looks like fun. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm into. We got Battle Lords. We got what? Mech suits. So yeah, I need to go to GaryCon. I think we should try to make GaryCon bigger than Gen Con. Gen Con was actually started by Gary Gygax. And then the Gygax, I mean, it was so appalling. And that's how I came to meet Ernie Gygax through GPA a few years ago, was because they kicked Ernie out of Gen Con. I'm like, his father started this convention and you're kicking him out because he was associated with the new TSR, which is a whole effing debacle and a half. But yeah, it's really sad how all that went down. But yeah, these books are great looking books. This is what I expect from tabletop. Again, your models may vary, but very, very different from what Hasbro's going for what WotC's going for. And they don't want anything to do with old school D&D anymore. But they have no problem milking it, right? They'll throw it on. Like, I got a t-shirt. It was a new t-shirt. It had the animated characters on it. They're selling action figures of the animated characters. They have no problem profiting off of nostalgia, just like Disney. They have no problem profiting off of nostalgia, but then they kind of desecrate the legacy and they treat the people who created these things like trash. But that's typical Hasbro. I mean, I've talked about this before with, Larry Hama, which is really, really upsetting with Larry Hama. Larry Hama, who created the entire backstory for G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Everything that we know about these characters, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Duke, the whole, Cobra, the origin of Cobra Commander, except for the comic book origins, radically different from the cartoon origin. And even that changed. That's a whole thing. But he's in his mid 70s, late 70s, and he's still working because he has to, because he doesn't make enough money otherwise. And Hasbro's made millions and millions and millions of dollars on G.I. Joe, and they could kick him a couple $1 million as a thank you, barely an inconvenience for them, and they don't do it. Same with Ernie. I mean, he's been gone for a month now, and I can't say one way or the other. I know that he was not in the best financial shape toward the end. And Hasbro WotC could have kicked his family a couple $1 million just to say thank you. Thank you for making us billions, over the years. Thank you for making us so much money. Here, have a couple $1 million, Ernie, Luke, just so you guys, have a good life, right? As a thank you. That would be the right thing to do, but they never do that. These companies don't do that, and they can't even be bothered. Can't be bothered to bring back the people that made the game so iconic in the first place. So there we go, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.